What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb as always, but today I got a special guest in the building, man. I got the rapper, the engineer, bro. I got G.Rome in the building,
Good,
man.
bro. It's good.
Man, what's up? How have you been, G? We've known each other for a long time. This is our first time meeting in person. It's so crazy. We were just talking about that in the parking lot. So, I mean, like, how have you been? Because, I mean, I've met you in different capacities. I met you as an engineer. I've met you as a rapper, bro. Different things. So, like, how have you been? What's all this creativity going on, man?
Oh, man, I've been good, bro. Just blessed, man. I got into the engineering some years ago, and it just changed my life, bro. Engineering is the way to life, bro.
And that's just how it all got here. Okay, sure. Cool. We're going to talk about all of it, man. Now, this is the first time you've been on the show, so I definitely got to get some backstory. How did you get involved in music? You said engineering was your path here, bro. How did you get into music?
So I got a big brother. His name Marcus. He was engineering at one point, and I started playing basketball. It was 2018, and I quit the basketball team the same day. And I was like, man, I'm gonna go to the studio with you. And I went to the studio, and I was just looking at the screen and was paying close attention to what he was doing. And his next session never came, so he had time.
Oh man, just right place, right time.
Yeah, and then I just went in there and made a song, and that was 4 years ago.
Man, that's dope as hell. I love that start right there. So you got a brother who's an engineer. So I'm assuming that music is something that you all got in common at the crib, man. Yeah. Because you got to love music to be an engineer. You got to love audio to be willing to sit with people's audios and try to make it sound better. For sure. So like, what were the tunes growing up? What got you inspired enough to, even get in a booth?
Man, what really got me inspired with music, at one point I was listening to this artist. His name is A Boogie.
Okay, yeah.
At that time, I was heavy on it. So I just going through like some real heartbreak stuff. And I was like, man, hey, Boogie really hitting.
You was just understanding that like music can convey emotion and it can all tie together. I love when music hits like that. Even when it's on some negative shit, it's always like, damn, music is amazing. Yeah,
and that's how my first song ended up being like a love song because of like A Boogie. And I was just really went in there and was just talking.
That's what's up, man. That's really dope. So you got the A Boogie influence, and I want to talk about that first song. Now, was it good? Was it bad? How do you feel about it? I mean, it was your first approach in the booth. Be honest. Be honest. How was that first track?
It was bad.
It was bad? Okay, what was the name
at the time, it was called Levitate. At the time, I really thought it was hard, though.
That's dope. Hey, look, you have to, though. Honestly, that's the only way you're going to get better.
Nah, for sure.
Like, that's the only way to. Now, so you made this song, Levitate? Levitate, you said it was. You said it's not that good of a song. What was the rap name?
G.Rome.
From the beginning?
Yeah, my big brother, his name was G.Marquis.
Oh, damn. Okay, so you already had the little structure ready.
Yeah, we kind of got it after our sister.
Wow.
Yeah, G.Dot. And the first day at the studio, I made the song, and he was coming up with a title, and I was like, what's your artist name? And I was like, G.Rome. And I never
man, that's really cool to have something that's kind of like connecting you and your siblings as well. Like, that's got to have a lot behind it. Sure. Now, your brother who was recording the track, was he hyping you up? Was it a good session there, or was he like tough on you? How was that?
He wasn't necessarily hyping me up, but he was making sure I did it right or the best of my ability.
Kind of like just making sure you followed through.
Yeah, he like, go back, do that one more time. And I'm just keep saying the lines over and over again. And that's kind of my process now. I say the line.
It kind of just got molded through that.
Right, yeah.
That's what's up. So it kind of like built in some repetition of like how to get those perfect takes going and shit like that. Now, is it intimidating at all? Like being in that moment and like having, Big Bro there? Or was it like more of a, I'm just going to try this and I don't really care how it comes out?
Yeah, I was just going to try it. I didn't really care. It was a lot of people there, actually. It was probably like 6 or 7 people there.
Damn, okay, so you had an audience, too.
Yeah, but I was just like, you know what, I'm finna just try it. But everybody knew I wasn't a rapper, so it wasn't like
so you had something to prove, right? I'm not a rapper, though.
Yeah, so I didn't really care. They knew I was going in there for fun, but I just ended up taking it serious, bro.
That's what's up. Okay, so let's talk about when you decided to take it serious. What's that moment where you said, I'm going to be a rapper, bro? Like, it's over with. I'm a rapper. Address me as a rapper. I want that on my title.
Man, so I played the song for my friends.
Okay.
It was like, you got real potential.
Was this like an in the car vibe?
Yeah, it was all in the car.
That was the best.
And I actually made 2 songs that night, but I played them both the songs when I got back home that day. And it was like, you got real potential. Like, you should really be a rapper. And I just took it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a rapper. And I went back to the studio the very next day with my brother. And I was like, let's put these songs out on the internet.
It's like, bro, we gotta find SoundCloud. What was the site you were using back in the day?
SoundCloud.
That's what's up. So, what was the response on that track on drop? You get the listens. Was it
people like people from high school that was cool with me, kind of hyped me up a little bit, but a lot of people didn't like it though. Okay. They told me they didn't like the song.
That's what's up. But I mean, hey, that's how you know if you really want to do this, though, man. Sure. In my opinion, like I didn't try so many lanes to get over to some shit that I was decent enough for people to want to watch.
Right.
So I mean, like I definitely feel that, and to stick with it is so dope. Now it's now 2022, and you said that was 2018. So that's a decent amount of time, but it's not that long of a period of time. How much music do you think you've made in that time period since that first time you walked in that studio?
I just looked back at my files last week, and I had 1,300 songs. 300
Damn.
songs.
So are these just like ideas you trying to get off, or are these completed tracks?
They all done. Just a few of them like this. That ain't, but I got a lot of songs.
That's a fucking hard drive, bro. Yeah. Like that's a real hard drive of tracks.
I lost one though. One of my hard drives, I lost it in 2020 in Atlanta. So all the music.
Man, what's up with Atlanta? There's I can't remember which artist it was, but there's another artist who lost a hard drive in Atlanta, and like they've just like, bro, if you could hear the ones that was on there.
Well,
what's up with this? Everybody's hard drives going dead and shit, and that's the one that had the gold.
Well, I ain't really lose it. It just stopped working on me.
Yeah, that's what happens to everybody. Be like, damn, just stopped one day.
And it just was crazy because I let my cousin use my equipment that day while I was asleep.
Oh, no,
and I woke up and he never cut none of the stuff off. So the drive was running on Pro Tools the whole night. Damn. And I woke up and I tried to log in on everything. It was wiped and never cut back on.
Damn, bro. Those are always the saddest ones. Man. So you got more than 1,000 songs built up in this library. That's a lot of music, and that gets me right over into what I was going to say about just every time I go on Instagram, you are in the studio making new music, bro. How does that happen? Do you get the studio time and you wait for the idea to come, or you just running around with ideas every day? So like, what's the process here?
The studio more so of a recent thing now, but I was really recording a lot of my songs in my house.
Okay. And, home studio.
Yeah, so I met a few guys out here who run a studio. So because I know how to engineer myself, it opened a lot of opportunities for me to just pull up.
Yeah, because you don't need nobody on the session. Yeah. So now you're getting the free studio time and things like that. You're able to, engineer yourself, be in the studio, get your vibe going. I want to know what is the process for creating a G.Rome song? You got 1,000 tracks, so I'm sure there's a methodical process at this. Like, this can't be something where you can almost veer off of it at this point because you got to be regimented. What's the process? Like, if you're about to make a song, start to finish, take me through it.
Well, first thing I do is I find a beat.
Okay.
If I really like that beat, I'll pull it up. And I don't write none of my music down. I just go in on the beat and just
freestyle. Yeah. I feel like that's because you're an engineer too. It's not so you're not wasting nobody's time.
Right.
It's like, bro, if I do 500 takes, this is like writing it down. It's like
so I start freestyling and usually I'll do a hook. If I really like that hook, I'll put a verse on it. Mm-hmm. But if I don't really like it or I'm not feeling it, I'll just bounce it out and just lead a hook.
Yep, it's like might be an idea later. Let me wait till I got a life story to go with that chorus.
Right. And then a week after, I might really like that hook that I didn't like in that moment. Mm-hmm. And then I'll put a verse on it and then make it a song. So that's pretty much how I record.
Got you. Now, what's the vibe in the studio at this time? Do you like to have the homies around? You like to have a lot of people, know people? Like, what's the perfect creation setting for you?
Well, recently I just started like really having a lot of people around me in my sessions.
What was it before that? Was it just you in the room alone?
I hated people being around me.
Damn.
Like, I just really like being by myself, mainly because I knew I was still working. Like I knew that I wasn't really raw yet. Like I was trying to.
It was like, damn, bro, hold on, let me get a couple more things together.
Right, I ain't want nobody really to be there because people always got an opinion like, oh, you should change this, change that, and I wasn't with it. I just like to be by myself. But recently, I've been really liking like having my homies around.
Yeah, for the feedback there. Now, do you have homies around who are willing to tell you if it ain't shit?
For sure.
Okay.
That's what make it good, though. That's
the best way to go. Right. I ain't know, bro. I ain't know, man. Some people got people around who just say yes.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I think that's how we got like a couple Kanye projects. Like, but now,
yeah.
I think nobody should follow that.
For sure.
That's what's up, man. So you got the people around you who are, honest about the music and they kind of keep you up to date with it. Now, I kind of do want to change gears a little bit, talk about a project that you dropped. And I actually got a couple questions about it. So you did drop a project in 2021 called The Long Lost Soul. Sure. I remember listening when it dropped, man, and I was friends with D-Mag at the time because we met on a shoot. And when I tell you that's the biggest fan you got in the world.
It's my brother.
D-Mag is promoting you no matter where he goes. When I tell you I was down there in Florida with him for 4 days, we did not do nothing but listen to your music, bro. Unreleased, release, bro. That's your homie, and I'm bro. Like even when you ain't there, he's out there pushing the music.
For sure.
Now, where I was going from that though was what was the creation of that project like? Like what was it putting the songs together when you have so many to pick from?
It's funny because that project, all those songs, I think I remember it being like 15 songs on there. 8 of them I made in the same day.
Damn.
And I just was like, these raw. And D-Mac was there too. That's why he believed in it so much.
That's what's up, man. It seems like you don't kind of see the purpose of holding on to too much of the like music if it's good. If it's like, bro, I could just get this right out.
Exactly. So I just I put the songs together in January and I just dropped it in April. And that's right when I moved to Atlanta and everything started. So
damn, man, that's so dope. That is so dope. Now the project's off streaming right now. Why is that?
It's just a better move for business at the moment. I got a lot going on, and I kind of wanted to start fresh because a lot of the new music I have don't really represent that.
So it's gonna kind of change gears from that.
For sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a lot going on the business end, and I felt like the smart thing to do to be more reputable and to sell myself to the labels is to take a lot of my music down.
Damn, that's mad interesting. You know, I feel like not a lot of people who come on my show at least talk about that kind of side of it where you do have to get methodical and play this game. Right, like it is a game at the end of the day. Like no matter if we're making the music we love or the music we hate, like somebody has to pick it to kind of get it up there. Now, off of what you were saying there, is a major label something that you're seeking out or are you somebody who wants to do it independent all the way?
Whatever is best for the brand.
Okay.
I'm thinking right now.
What do you mean by the brand? So is the brand you or do you have a persona that you consider the brand?
The persona.
Okay.
I'm just Jerome Drakeford, but the brand is
understandable.
Cozy.
So the brand could sign.
Yeah, the brand could sign. But me personally, I prefer to stay out of that. But the brand,
I understand
Cozy, capital G, that's all the brand.
Understandable.
So I feel like that's a better move. It might be better to go with a label. More so where I am now, but it just depends on the future.
That's what's up. Now, if you were to get a label, what kind of deal you looking for? Like, what deal would sound sweet to you right now for the G.Rome persona?
Man, like, I can't really call it.
You can't call it? I mean, what's the staple for it then? Like, what's something you know you got to have from a contract that's to even consider it? Like, if it didn't have this, don't even bring it to you.
Creative freedom.
Understandable.
To me. Because I make a lot of my music off the vibe. And I would prefer if people weren't like trying to force a vibe upon me.
Damn, yeah, I definitely feel that. I've always thought like getting pressured by a label has to be the worst shit ever.
Oh yeah.
Like for somebody to sit in the studio and kind of like put their heart, you know, making a song is like giving a piece of you. So it's like if the person gave a piece of themselves right there and you just told them to change that shit up, like that's so wild to me. Yeah. Like I feel like you're trying to put your own brush into somebody's art. Right, and it's like, this is wild as hell.
For sure.
But I understand that. Creative freedom has got to be like a big staple for you. Yes, sir. Now, also another question that I want to ask, because I feel like a decent amount of the rappers that come on this show, they haven't created a voice such as yours that you have on recording. Your recording voice is not the exact same as your talking voice, you know? Yeah. And you are an engineer, which is why I feel like I could ask you this question. Because other people, it's their engineer doing it. So they don't really understand trying to shape that voice, create a tone, things like that. How did you come across that? What kind of got you into that? That takes a higher level to kind of tune in, create your own voice.
Yeah, so when I first started doing music, a lot of people, I had a real deep, raspy type of voice. And I did not like it at all. And I really wanted to learn how to change my voice. And throughout the Pro Tools software, I was really able to like just change my voice, like turn the bass down in my voice and learn the pockets, learn how to play
modular with it.
Like I did a lot. It took me a lot of work, years and years.
Just building up that preset, building up that this is G.Rome.
This is my sound. And now if I go to a studio and somebody else is recording me, I could look at the screen and say, do this, change that. Yeah. And I know exactly how to get my sound.
That's dope as hell. And then you also have the reliability of it sounding the same. Because like the reference I love to use for people who like to use auto-tune but don't have a stable engineer or they're not an engineer themselves Do you remember the time period where Lil Wayne, it was almost like, it was after the Carter 3, where like he was doing features with people and every feature was at a different pitch. And it was like, he did Gimme That with like Chris Brown. And then like, cause like if you go back to the early stuff, it's like, bruh, you was doing something there. And then post to Millie, it was like, who's on your board today, Wayne? Right. Like you need the same engineer for all of these songs.
Right. That's why engineering and learning it is so important as an artist.
Yeah, that's more the T-Pain route of how he did that.
You're gonna go to a lot of different studios and everybody preset different. Everybody gonna have you sounding.
People might have you in completely different softwares.
Different, yeah. So it's very important to really know whatever software you're using, how to work the plugins, how to manipulate the plugins, because that's a lot what these major artists are doing now.
I mean, aside from the majors, I think it also just gets the creativity, but it helps you get your point across.
Exactly.
Like how you were saying about your voice and your tone, you were like, if it just sounded different, I would enjoy it more.
Right.
So you're trying to pull up those sonics to make it sound more like what you want it to sound like and make it sound more palatable.
Exactly.
Like that's so dope. And that's such an interesting way to look at it. Cause I mean, like that's a deeper look than, somebody just slapping auto-tune. Like when I was recording for people in college, I used to hate when people would be like, yo, can you put a little auto-tune on that? It was like, that's not a quantity. You can't little auto, can I get a little auto-tune, a touch of auto? Like you don't get this.
Way more to it than that.
It's so much more to it. If you really wanted it to sound proper, if you really wanted it to be something. Now, the question I want to ask you next. Now, I love asking this question because it can present different answers across the board. And I know yours has to be so interesting because I want to know if it's just, you want to keep it to yourself. But like, if you had an unlimited budget right now, you don't have to think about money, you don't have to think about anything, you don't have to think about getting anywhere. What is the project you're creating? From the studio to the artist you want featured to the producers you want to get your beats. Nobody's going to tell you no. Nobody's going to, like say it's too expensive. What's the perfect project? And like, as I said about all the shit, like top 5, 24 hours, like you could change the shit tomorrow. Like, but who right now, like what's the producers you need in there first?
Producers, I definitely need a Southside beat.
Okay.
Oh man, this is crazy.
It's a hard question. It's not an easy question. And also, you make music alone. That's why I was like, I wonder if you just say, I'm just going to keep it alone. But like, the way you make music is so interesting to me because you can do it all yourself. So what would it be like to open it up if you had that unlimitedness?
Outside of the Southside beat, like really what I would want to do for the perfect project, perfect project by me, I would want it to be produced by me, mixed and mastered by me, written, recorded by me. And then for my features, I want a Wayne feature.
Okay.
For sure. I want a Wayne feature. I'm going to need Andre 3000 on my project.
See, and that would be great, bro.
And that's gonna be it for me. Like
that's all you
I'm
need.
very simple. I'm very simple.
3 stacks.
But I feel like that's so important to me. Like that's always been my biggest dream was to like have an album.
Have your name just down the line.
I did everything. So like show people like you could really do everything yourself. Like that's why I really admire Kanye too.
Of course. I mean, yeah, I was about to say Chicago kids, bro. We watched the Kanye shit. Yeah. We saw one person say, I'm gonna make it. And really fucking make it. Just doing his own shit.
His own thing. Didn't need nobody else. I feel like that's what make you different in this industry. Like when you bring more things to the table rather than just being an artist.
I mean, yeah, like think about how many people after Kanye are like Kanye. None. Like it's a very small portion. Yeah. Like to get to his level is so intense where it's just like, even though he did it so many years ago, it can't be imitated easily.
Kanye been doing this since before I was even thought about, bro.
Like, bro, for real. Kanye was writing raps when I was not born.
Right. Exactly.
That's how hard he was pushing this shit.
Yeah, man. But that's very important to me. Like
just getting that all in there.
Having everything done by me. To just show people.
I mean, I always thought it was cool. Like, even when you see things like J. Cole, who did his no feature run, which is like, of course, it's not like having your, name down the list, but you see the notoriety that comes with like somebody giving you good art that's self-contained. Like, it's like, this is just their brain. They can show you how dope they are with just what's in their head. Right. That's so cool, man. I think that's a dope idea. That'd be a dope project. And the only 2 features you need are 2 of my favorite rappers ever. So it's like, bro, I'm ready for that project.
That's it.
That project's gonna be so cold from top to bottom. Now, where would you want to record it? That's the last part of the question there.
I would want to with an unlimited budget, right?
So yeah, you can make the best home studio in the world if you wanted to.
I was just about to say that. In my $1 million mansion.
The mansion has to come for the album too. I see you write it together. It makes sense.
In my own studio room in my house.
That's dope.
That's why I want to record it. A Grammy-winning project.
That's tight.
That's the goal.
Hey, man, look, I hope you get that project, and I hope whoever else you need on it in the future, I hope it just goes so dope, man. That answer is always so different, and that's like so unique that you just want those taglines to all say your name, because I think that's a real achievement. Like, that's something that's just very hard to achieve there.
For sure.
Now, a few more questions before we wrap up here. You are a person who's in the studio all the time. You do not take a break, man. And before that, you said it was at the crib, so I know you didn't take any breaks there. But I gotta ask, what do you do to refuel this creativity? Like, how do you make sure you're on top of it? What do you do to foster it when you need to step away from the music? If the tracks aren't coming, if it don't sound right, what's your reset to get this creativity back going?
Just living. Like,
okay.
Sometimes, I don't know, like earlier this year, I would probably not record for months and just live.
Just because you got to get something to write about.
Yeah, just live. It's to me, it's not really like that urgent. Like, I just kind of make music when the vibe is right. So if I'm feeling uninspired, I usually go back to, like I said, the Andre 3000s and like.
You got to pull that inspiration from what got you
back
there.
And search. Like, you can ask them, like, when I'm in the car, I just listen to me all day.
Damn. I mean, well, that's how you improve on it, though.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's important to me, though. It's just living. Because you ain't got nothing to rap about if you ain't really living.
You got a point there. If you was in the studio the whole time, eventually the raps are just going to be about being in the studio.
Same stuff over and over. I can't do that. So I usually like to take long breaks. Like, I'm the type of person, I'll record 30 days straight, make 50, 60 songs, and then just not record for months. And when I come back, I do it again.
So your reset is just going to go live.
Just going.
Like, that's how you make sure it stays up. Now, you also do engineering and so many other things. So do your other creativities help you out too? Like, do you have to dip over to, maybe working on somebody else's things on, the engineering side? Or does that kind of pull more creativity, or does that drain you like making music does?
It kind of drains me also. I won't lie to you, because, on the side of this, I have a podcast editing business.
Yeah, which you go crazy with.
Yeah, and with that, it gets tiring too. I love audio, and I love being able to make a living off something that I could just do from my house, just off my skill. But at the same time, it's like, it's a lot, man. And it's hard to really pull inspiration from podcasts and then relate it back to music. But sometimes, though, like, if I do enough podcasts and I get so tired of it, it'll make me want to, like, go record.
You're like, I just need to get out of
go record, yeah.
It's like, I can't believe I've just been staring at purely people talking. I need the wave files to be songs now.
For sure. For sure. But, the engineering is just, like, it's a blessing, bro. Like, really knowing how to do it and do it efficiently could really, like, change your career path as an artist.
That's what's up, man. Look, hey, that's so cool that you get to pull all this together. Now, G, before we get out of here, you got anything on the way that the people need to know about, bro?
I'm going to be dropping some singles.
Okay.
This year. I don't have any tapes or projects coming out right now.
Okay, but you're just going to feed the masses with the singles first.
Just coming soon.
Hey, man, look. Any videos or anything, too?
Videos.
Okay, look, we got a lot to look forward to, man. So make sure you all are on the lookout, man. Thank you so much, G. Rome, for coming in the studio today, bro. Man, super enjoyed this interview, man. Make sure you all are checking out the podcast. We have more episodes. You can check out last week's or the next week's. Make sure you're peeping the podcast. Share it for everybody. Share it with your baby mama, your sister, your dog, your cat. Play it when you leave the house, man. But look, when we get out of here, we always make sure to leave them with an outro track from the artist that we have on. I think we got to give them Way Too Fast.
Way Too Fast.
We got to play Way Too Fast, man. So you all are hearing that track in the background. Make sure you keep it on repeat. Thank you again for coming on the pod, man. And make sure you all are checking next week's episode. Deuces.